One of the famous names in racing is the Sadler name, and one of the young members of that family who's making his way through the grades is young apprentice Tom Sadler. We caught up with him recently about his career to date and a recent move to join the Aquanita Stable. Well, Tom, you carry a famous name in racing, but you're certainly trying to make your own way. You happy with how your career started off?
Yeah, it's going quite well. I mean, it took me my 40th ride to have my first winner, so I was always quite frustrated from the word go, but I got my first winner and things rolled on quite nicely, and changing things up, moving over to Caulfield with Robert Smerdon, produced my first city winner, so I'm quite happy with how things are going. Talking
about your family, obviously your father is trainer John Sadler. Clearly he's probably had a major influence on your career?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've always been the one to go with Dad to the stables of a morning, and even when I was 5 and 6 running around in my Batman suit around the stables at Net Sheba, I was always pretty keen on the horses, so I think it was only a matter of time before I grew up and realised that I wanted to be involved in racing, and it's progressed from there.
When you started to get interested in it, how much time did you spend in Dubai with your dad?
Well, I moved over there when I was 5 in November, and we spent 3.5 years over there, and that was a terrific experience just to make us more worldly as a family and just to experience the world. And because Dubai is a lot closer to places like Europe, we got to go to Paris and England and places like that, and when we came back, we definitely had a more worldly view of what was going on, and it definitely increased my interest in racing being over there.
Certainly something that you always wanted to do by the sounds of it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was always pretty keen on racing and being a part of the spotlight, obviously with Dad and Edward and my family being involved in it. And then I started riding and really caught the bug for horses more than the on-scene stuff, and really behind the scenes interested me, and then it grew to being a big part of racing.
How did the move come to move from your dad to Aquanita and now working under Robert Smerdon?
Well, I think variety is definitely the spice of life, and things were going really well with Dad's. I had my majority of winners for the Malua stable, and Troy Corson's and Dad were definitely a real influence in the way I rode and how I conduct myself, but we felt that a change was necessary to improve my performance, and I feel it definitely has in the last 2 weeks.
You're a big and close-knit family. Your brother Edward is a budding race caller. Do you talk about your careers together?
Yeah, for sure. Edward actually started off managing me, taking calls when I was at the races, and we've always had quite a big involvement in each other's careers. I mean, his first race calling meeting, I set the microphones up for him and did the colours, so definitely we're a good team.
That one winner you've had in the metro area, you've had more than 30 overall, but the one winner, what do you remember about that day?
Probably more relief. It was one of Mike Maroney's, and it hung in the whole way up the straight, and I was more worried about putting the horse inside me through the rail than actually getting to the line, but definitely relief and a bit of satisfaction on the way home.
Very early days in your career, mate, but tell us about that one race that you want to win.
I think it'd actually be the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, or even just a race over in Europe. I mean, you can always dream of winning races over here, but I'd really like to make it internationally, because I think that's really the way that racing transforms and evolves, and it really interests me, that side of racing.